Welcome to the Tuttle Kline Show.
He is so Kliney. What's going on, Tuttle? There's just something that just popped in my head and I can't get it out of my head. And since it happened so close to us launching the podcast, I didn't get a chance to look it up to see if it was true or not. Kevin, I have a funny feeling. I don't know if you knew this. Ichiro
Suzuki, Hall of Famer.
He did not start playing in the major leagues here in the United States until he's like 27 years old, I believe.
That is correct. He had a 8 to 10 year career in the Japanese league where he amassed over 2,000 hits.
If you would have played in the big leagues here in the United States, starting at like age 21, and had an extra 6 years in Major League Baseball, I'm pretty sure he would have at least threatened Pete Rose.
Well, he would have had over 5,000 hits if you take into consideration that he had 2,000 in the Japanese league and then 3,000 plus in Major League Baseball. You take those 6 years in Japan away from him, you put those 2,000 hits. Yeah, he would have at least threatened, but I think he would be the all-time hit leader.
I would not, give him every one of those 2,000 hits that he got in the Japanese league in Major League Baseball. There is a talent difference.
Even 1,500 would still.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think even 13, 14, 1,500 makes him the all-time hit king.
It's amazing. He was a talent, man. I loved.
Yeah, he was a great talent.
Oh my God.
Excuse me.
Oh, God bless you. God bless you.
I tried to hold that one back. Yeah, Kev, the reason it popped in my head, I was talking back and forth via messaging with, somebody that's kind of like a risk manager for my futures trading.
Okay.
And we're going over my trades.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, for most people, we tell them because of the math that they should really be going for a higher risk reward. If you say you risk $1,000, they should be trying to make $2,000 or $3,000 to make up for a lot of losses. He said, with you, he goes, you're kind of like a good singles hitter. You're Ichiro, you're Pete Rose, you're Tony Gwynn, Wade Boggs. Just slap it around and get on base. He said your entries are so solid, so good that your win rate is high. He said, there's nothing wrong with, just a 1-to-1. Risk 1,000, get a quick 1,000, get out, be done for the day.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't think that there would be anything wrong with that. You're winning.
Yeah, I just got caught up in the whole. There's this whole thing where you got to risk, a little bit and make a ton to make up for the math and everything like that. Well, I'm really good at analysis. I'm a great chart reader, a tape reader.
Uh-huh.
Like I can tell pretty solidly that, okay, there's about a 90%, 85% chance that I can make $1,000 over the next 70 to 80 seconds before, I lose maybe $1,200.
Okay. Well, make that money.
Yeah, that's it. And I was looking at it too. I was pouring over. It's the first time I ever really poured over like every trade. And it's like, wow, what am I doing? You're right.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if you looked at, we have a financial advisor. We've had him ever since we moved to Houston in 2005. And if you look at the investment strategy that Don set up for us, we're singles hitters too. I was able to retire at 51.
Yeah, a little bit here, a little bit there. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
And he even said, he goes, you can lever up too. I'm with that. I mean, your funding company, and even if you get a Series 3, which that's what my goal, get a Series 3 and be a licensed prop trader where I can bring in all kinds of different investors if they want to invest in my trading. And he said,
what's it take to become a Series 3?
My current funding company will, if I show performance over a period of time, they will pay for me to take the Series 3 test.
Okay.
And if I pass the test, then I will be a licensed prop trader.
Nice.
So he said, yeah, he goes, you have everything here. He goes, the only times you run into trouble or, you're trying to get too much out of it.
Okay.
He said, you pick these great setups, these great entries, and then, you'll see your 9, 10 ticks and you're trying to get much more out of it because you're falling into that whole, hey, you got to have much bigger reward than risk and everything like that. He said, hey, just hit your singles, man.
Yeah, take the reward.
Yeah. And you could do one a day,
There you go.
And that's what I did today. I just, one set up at about 9:30. It was beautiful. It was absolutely a second entry long after a break of the channel. We're going to test a new high. And I thought we were going to test the overnight high also. I'm like, this is easy money right here. Got in 70 seconds later, made my money.
Don't you look back on it? Okay, so like, I mean, yeah, there was a lot of work that went into that process for you to be able to work 70 seconds and make your money. But do you look back at our radio career? We were on the air for 5 hours. We did 3 hours of prep before, 2 hours afterwards. It's like, life could have been a lot easier.
I know. I think about that because, the guy who taught me, he had been putting up YouTube videos since 2010. So I could have gotten into this. Now, I will say this. It's not easy. A lot of people don't study enough and don't hang around enough to go in that direction.
Yeah.
Like I've literally been doing this day in and day out for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing, just the same study that, and now I got it. Now it's clicked.
Well, it goes to the podcast. It goes to radio. They're not short-term games. They're long-term games. They're marathons. Radio, we started making shit money.
Nothing.
Dude, my very first salary in radio was $13,100 a year. I was working 90 hours a week for that. Yeah. And I was loving it. I loved it.
I remember my ex saying, because, I was, a sales engineer, company car, expense account. And, then I get into radio in 1996, Kevin and I on Thunder 94, Nashville's new rock in Nashville, Tennessee. And I told her what I was getting paid because I started off, all right, I'm going to get on the air, I'm going to do weekends, but I'm going to start off as a promo guy. And, this is what they're paying me. And she goes, oh, so you're going to make 28% of what you made before.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, hey, trust me. You got to trust me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this.
And then when you went to Knoxville and then Daytona Beach, and then we got back together in Tallahassee, you took another huge hit. You took a 32% hit. Kathy must have loved me.
Yeah, I took I took not even half. You're right. Yeah, her and I just bought a house and paid for the all the initial stuff for a house in Knoxville.
Yeah.
And then we get that job offer in Tallahassee, Florida. Yeah, for like 42% of what I was making. We gotta eat what we paid to put. We didn't put a down payment quite on the house, but we put money down. Whatever they call it. I forget what they call it.
Earnest money.
Earnest money. Yeah, we put earnest money down. We had to eat that.
Yeah. Here's the great thing, Kath. We're going to move to Tallahassee, and we're going to live in government housing with a bunch of foreigners that are going to be plotting to, bomb us.
Yeah, Kline, we think, we're not 100% sure. We think Kline's upstairs neighbor in Tallahassee, Florida was Muhammad Atta.
We're not kidding. We really do think that some of the 9/11 bombers, the pilots, were living in our complex because all hours of the day it was strange men of that culture coming in and out.
Doing the flight simulator. Well, I don't need to land. I just need to know how to take off.
Yeah, exactly.
And Kline's going, what is going on here?
And we found out.
Don't you want to land? I mean, if you're a pilot, you want to be able to land that thing.
But yeah, no, the radio's a long-term game. I mean, look, we had 30 years in the industry, Tim, and a lot of people don't even last 30 days because the pay sucks, the hours are long, and you're constantly scrutinized. The podcast, you told me a while back, Rogan didn't start making money for 5 years.
5 years, not a single penny.
Yeah.
Now he makes about $150 million a year doing that podcast.
Yeah. It's long-term stuff. And like you were getting back to your trading, if you have the wherewithal to stick with it and you believe in yourself and it's what you love to do, then you'll stick with it and you'll make it.
Yeah, Kevin, I started working with this guy and working on this project in I don't know if you remember or not. I'd always been trading. I'd always had that computer in front of me, and you saw the charts yourself years and years and years.
Yeah.
But when COVID hit, and the next day, here we are, a radio show with 1.5 million listeners, and we open the phone lines up, and nobody's calling because COVID hit, and nobody's on the roads, nobody's going in, everybody's staying home. I thought to myself, oh shit. So the people in the government have the power to completely shut me down. I have mouths to feed. I've got child support. I've got kids. I've got I can't allow that power to control my life. I've got to find another option. So I started right then and there. I remember like a couple months after COVID, I was really studying a specific strategy because I'd done a bunch of different things over years and years and years. And I was like, all right, I'm going to zone in and study one thing. And I looked this guy up. I started going through his stuff and a few other guys, we were on his in his chat room and his message board and everything like that I started with, over the past year or two, they fall off. I can't do it. I can't, I'm just making mistakes and everything like that. And I'm just telling them. I said, well, you got to be more patient. You got to wait for the setup. That was a bad setup. You get impatient and just try to put your money up. I mean, we're doing the S&P 500 futures E-mini market. That's where the smartest people in the world are. It's the most liquid market. It's a place where you could scale up and make a shit ton of money. The smartest people in the world, the MIT people who have algorithms, the high frequency trading, they're brilliant people. They're out there to take your money if you're impatient. That's why you got to be impatient.
It's hard to do.
And they don't have the patience. They're just like, oh, the market's moving and I'm not aboard. I'm not on. Oh my God, I'm missing out. No. For what I do and what they should have done is I'm just a sniper sitting there in my ghillie suit. I'm waiting. And sometimes, Kev, sometimes I will wait 3 hours of screen time.
Yeah, before the shot's not there.
But the shot's not there. Exactly. The shot's not there. And these sharks who from MIT and they work for the big houses and the hedge funds and everything like that, they're just waiting for you to do something stupid because it's a zero-sum game. In order for them to make money, they got to take money from us.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna line it up. All right, boom, let's fire the shot. Boom, there it is.
And for any of you listening to this or watching this on YouTube, if you're wondering, am I in the right situation? Am I doing what I truly love to do? If you're not talking as passionately as Tim is talking right now, then the answer is no. Listen to the way this man is talking right now. The energy in his voice, the enthusiasm, the excitement. If you can talk like that about your job, you have found your calling. Dude, you are so amped and jazzed right now. I've never seen you this, even in our radio career, I've never seen you this excited.
Oh, I love it.
I know you. I can tell.
It's a game. You know what it is, Kev? It's a game.
Yeah.
And
but it's a game with serious consequences.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of people blow their kids' college money. A lot of people doing what I do, day trading, they destroy their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So you get all the freedom you want, but including in that freedom is the freedom to hang yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I feel every single day I feel blessed that I have the knowledge I have. I get the opportunity that I have, and now I'm gonna go, use my mind against some of the most brilliant minds worldwide, and I'm gonna try to take just a little bite of what they expect to earn today. I just need a little bite.
There you go. Yep, a little bite you can eat.
And in all honesty, 86.7% of the time, I get my bite.
There you go. All right. That's how he fulfills his coffee.
Exactly. Gotta pay for the coffee, man. Kev, I think you're gonna love this. I experienced the craziest pickup line I have ever heard before in my life, and I think you're gonna appreciate it. I'm doing my cardio, and you know me, I'm kind of a douche.
No.
I do. Oh, no. I'm kind of a little bit. It's just because I heat up so much. I take my shirt off.
Okay.
And it's still hot in Houston, man.
When is it not hot in Houston?
Yeah. And I don't like the drippy drips if I don't have to have the drippy drips.
Look, you're looking at a guy on YouTube that was sweat through a corduroy sport coat, just standing around.
You remember that, don't you?
Dude, I will never forget that, man.
I'll never forget that too. I thought you're like, dude, you sweat through that. I was like, what are you talking about? Oh shit. It's corduroy.
And thus the black shirt daily routine was born.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The black shirt thing is no fashion. It's functional. So anyway, Kev, I'm doing my cardio. I'm shirtless like I usually am. And this lady pulls up. I mean, just literally just stops on the road right across from the path that I'm on, you know, the runner's path, the walker's path or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And she goes, "Damn, you're hot. I'd like to kidnap you and take you home with me."
And you said?
I thought that was the funniest thing. That was hilarious.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I mean, she wasn't my type, but I said that is the funniest thing. And then, you know, we got a laugh together, and then she took off. And as I'm doing my cardio, I'm thinking about it. I'm going, you know, that could never ever happen the other way around.
That was the first thing I thought of when you said that. I'm like, yeah, you can't reverse those roles.
You could never, a guy could never do that, even if he's just kidding, like this lady was kidding.
Yeah.
There would immediately be a SWAT team called.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But, you know, guys, we're wired a little different. I appreciated that. And, you know, if she was my type, I probably would have been intrigued.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, guys, that's how we're wired. I mean, a woman could say, you know, hey, I want to kidnap you. I want to drug you. I want to do terrible things to you sexually all night long. And a guy would say, hey, great, I'll buy breakfast in the morning.
Unless it's Eileen Wuornos or Lorena Bobbitt. Yeah, we're in.
Yeah. Yeah. A woman, though, she goes to a guy's place and she sees a pentagram on the floor or something like that. And she'll be I got to get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
A guy goes to a woman's place, sees a pentagram on the floor, Kevin, and he says, oh, I got to fuck her real quick and then get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not drinking the beverage she just tried to give me. No,
I think I could just get this done, hit and run, get out of here real quick.
That's right.
Say I got to use the bathroom. I'll go through the bathroom window.
She's on the 5th floor. I'll risk it.
I don't care. She's crazy and probably a Satan worshiper, but look how hot she is.
So true. So true.
Yeah, people are just wired different. It's like, Kev, it's like this lady. We're at the community grills at the pool. We have a cluster of grills over here on this huge luxury pool right outside my door here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've told you this, that, you know, once a week I'll do my meal prep and, you know, I'll make my stack of huge chicken breasts, you know, 6 huge chicken breasts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lady on the grill next to me. And I'm just minding my own business. I got my AirPods in. I think I'm listening to some podcast, maybe Rogan or something like that.
Okay.
And, you know, she's grilling corn and, you know, some kind of veggie kebab with, looked like fake meat on it. You know, it was not real meat. It was like very red and Play-Doh looking, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like the manufactured meat. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And she finally looks over at me and starts talking to me. And I had to double because I had my AirPods on.
Right.
So I took my AirPods on and I was like, I'm sorry, ma'am. I was listening to a podcast. What did you say? She goes, do you feel bad about the animals that were murdered for your nourishment?
Oh, wow.
And I was kind of taken back by it, but I kind of saw it coming because I kind of felt her, you know, dagger eyeing me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I said, yeah, you know, I kind of feel the same way about your spread, but I'm polite enough to keep quiet about it. I said, I'm polite probably because I eat a lot of meat, so I'm not irritable and judgmental all the time.
Oh shit!
Oh,
How'd that go
yeah.
over? How'd that go over?
Yeah, yeah. It was kind of she had an uncomfortable laugh.
Uh
And
huh.
I was like, oh, okay. She thinks I'm just playing with her. I've got to punish her for breaking the silence and not minding her own fucking business.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, I'm a veggie rights activist. And what you're doing to that corn right there is heinous. I said, by the way, seeing how you're like eating this fake meat and stuff like that, it seems like you're still obsessed with meat. I bet you call ribs and steak in the middle of the night and hang up.
And she laughed at that, I'm sure.
She did. She laughed at that and she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I should never have called you out like that." She goes, she goes, "I've seen all those videos of what happens to animals at the factories and the packing." And I'm like, "Hey, that's great." I certainly don't like that that's part of the equation,
Yeah.
but I've tried. I actually tried, because Taryn, my ex, she was a vegetarian.
Okay.
And, so you know how it is. If the person you're seeing is a vegetarian, you essentially are a vegetarian too.
That is correct, sir.
And I just couldn't do it,
Uh-huh.
like Kev, her and I would go get sushi
Yeah.
and then I would leave, kiss her goodnight and everything like that. And I would roll through and get a hamburger or some chicken or something like that on the drive through immediately after I left her place.
Yeah, her entree is your appetizer.
Exactly. I was like, it's just, it's a bit much.
Yeah.
And even she has come off of it now. I just think there's only a certain amount of time you can go before you're like, I just gotta have me some chicken wings, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we tried the vegetarian thing too. It lasted for like 5 months.
Yeah, it's tough.
It is. I mean, it's definitely a commitment. I know a lot of people who have done it and who stuck with it. My father-in-law is one of them. I think he's going on like 5 or 6 years. But yeah, we just tried it on a whim and it didn't stick.
Let me say this while I can though. I am not poo-pooing anybody that's a vegetarian.
Absolutely not.
If that's your lifestyle choice, God bless you. That's great. It's when you start calling out other people.
Yeah.
Hey, we're all doing what we can to be good people in this world. There's no need to call people out and just see. That's a thing that we learned on November 5th, Kev. The dramatic majority of Americans just want to be left the fuck alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's the big takeaway. If you had to put in a sentence, the election of 2024, the biggest takeaway across every demographic, male, female, black, white, Asian, Indian, whatever, any age group. The message is we just want to be left the fuck alone. And there's one side that just wants to get in your world and tell you what to think and tell you how to feel. And we're going to punish you if you don't. That is not American,
It's just not healthy.
No.
Yeah.
No, do you? That's great. Do you? I don't care. You want to go to another gender? Cut your giblets off. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm a libertarian. I'm like, do whatever you want, man.
Yeah.
Don't fucking tread on me while you're doing it.
So you've brought up somebody asking or chastising you about your choice of a delicacy, chicken. Now you're talking about the election of 2024 and regulation. It brings to mind something that I was going you like me to keep you in the loop on things.
Oh yeah. Let's do this right now. I'm off the grid.
Yeah.
And because I'm off the grid, I'm not on social media or anything like that anymore. Kevin Kline is kind enough on a weekly basis when we do the podcast to tell me the things that have happened over the past week in the world that I, may not know or may need to know. What do you got?
Well, I know that you know about DOGE, the Department of Governmental Efficiency that President-elect Trump has
It's awesome.
created with Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. Well, I read a report yesterday, and it just, oh my God, Tim, I can't get it out of my mind. So they took a look at the expenditures for the experiments that are happening at the National Institute of Health, the National Health Institute. Have you read any of these things?
I have not.
Okay.
Kev, I try to stay away from it
Mhm.
because I understand and I know because I've known for decades. Our federal government, for the most part, at least a layer of it, a strong and powerful layer, it's a criminal operation now.
Well, it's interesting that you bring up the word criminal because I think some of these scientists should be considered criminals. Here's the one that really stuck out to me, okay? And there are a boatload. There's, they're injecting monkeys with methamphetamines to see how it reacts to the monkey body, and they're supposed to equate that to. Here's one though. By the way, if you want to see how methamphetamines affect the body, why don't you walk up and down Glenstone Avenue in Springfield, Missouri, and you will see many cases of how methamphetamines affect the human body. We have a plethora of meth heads in this city. But here's the one that really bothered the shit out of me, okay? They're spending $1 million a year to inject mice with steroids and then putting them in the same cage and having them fight so that they can study roid rage. Number one, animal fighting is illegal. Okay. Number two, what sadistic fucking mind comes up with that?
You're evil.
Yeah, that is truly evil shit, man.
Kev, I hope and pray that Elon and Vivek and everybody involved in that new program, I hope that they're able to call tribunals. I mean, there are people that need long prison terms and flat out due to treason and crimes against humanity, there are people that need to be executed. Period.
That just bothered the shit out of me for a useless study.
I understand you. I understand, Kevin. I know you're a big animal rights activist.
Huge.
And something like that, rips into your Kev. You got to be careful, over the next 4 years, what you're going to raid and what you're going to be exposed to. Because I got a funny feeling a lot of evil is going to come to light.
Yeah, well, a lot of evil came to light on Friday evening on Netflix. 72,000 people packed AT&T Stadium to see a 30 or 20-something-year-old dude beat up on a 58-year-old dude. I'm glad that they did not put this on pay-per-view because then there would be more assholes in the world because people would have paid for this. Did you watch it? I'm talking about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson.
I had Dallas and Timmy with me, and Dallas had it loaded up on Netflix, but he couldn't get, it was the circle thing.
It crashed. Netflix crashed. So that tells you right there that the people that were trying to log in, it was an immense amount of people. All right. My wife watched it. She loves Mike Tyson. I like Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
I love boxing. I was not in the least intrigued by this. This was a completely made up circus frenzy.
Yeah. I wouldn't, I had no interest in watching it live either.
Uh-huh.
I thought to myself, well, I'm going to watch the highlights. The next day they'll always come out with highlights. And I did. I watched the 2.5 minutes of highlights, and there was nothing in that 2.5 minutes. Nothing.
There weren't any highlights.
None.
It was pathetic. It was absolutely pathetic. And for Texas to sanction that fight that shouldn't have been sanctioned.
Yeah, not only that, Kev, how bad is Mike's financial position that he's got to do something like that to get a payday?
Yeah. I don't know how much he made. I know Jake Paul made 40 million.
Yeah. Mike made 20.
20. Wow.
20 million bucks. And from what I've heard, he needs it.
I'm sure he does. He got ripped off so many times by different managers, agents, just his own poor management skills of money because he never had it before. I mean, dude would meet a girl in a strip club and buy her a $300,000 Bentley that night.
Oh, man. Let me tell you this. You look good as it is, but you look better with a fucking Bentley. Oh, man, this is great.
Yeah.
You touched my pee-pee.
It was a pathetic excuse of a sporting event. So.
I'm so sorry, man.
No, I didn't watch it. I like you. I got the.
No, I'm so sorry for Mike Tyson.
Oh, I know, man. I know. We met him. Trish and I met him.
Oh, how great is that?
well, here's the picture. Dude, totally affable, very likable. We went to his one-person comedy show in Vegas, and afterwards we got to meet him. And yeah, super cool guy, super nice.
Did you tell him you were at the fight with the ear biting?
I did. I told him that, and then we had a mutual friend who wanted me to pass along a message to him, and so I did. And he's like, "Oh, you know House?" I'm like, "Yeah. House and I are, we're getting along really well. We might go do a business thing together." He's like, "Well, how can I get involved?" And so I put him back in touch with his friend House.
Okay, until you told him the House, just going to Mike Tyson and going, "Hey, I got a message from a mutual friend for you." It just sounds so gangster.
Did you watch any of the post-fight interview with Mike?
No. What did he say?
Okay, so during the fight, he's biting on his glove. He has his glove up to and he's biting on the thumb of his glove, right? And the commentators are arguing back and forth. Mauro Ranallo says, "I've watched plenty of Tyson fights. He does this all the time." And Roy Jones Jr. is like, "No, I fought against him. He didn't do that with me. He's got something wrong with his mouthpiece." So Ariel Helwani, who's doing the post-fight interview, asks him,
broadcast team was debating what you were doing with your glove. Was it a mouthpiece issue, or were you just biting on your glove? What was that? Could you tell us?
Oh, I have a habit of biting my gloves when I fight, yes.
Why do you do that?
I have a biting fixation.
I've heard about that. I don't want to know more.
Come on, man. This is pretty well documented. Are you new or something?
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious.
It's like the snake story,
Yeah.
The lady who healed the snake, and the snake bit her and killed her, and the lady's going, "Why'd you do it?" "I'm a snake." It's what we fucking do.
That's right.
Just remember that, kids. If you see a snake that's injured out on a path or something like that, and you nurse it to health and it bites you and you're on your last moments, the thing's a snake.
Hey, that leads me to a be honest that I have for you.
Be honest. Be honest.
All right, so I was talking to a guy over the weekend at the hockey game, and he ran into some car problems. Now, here's the thing. He has a flat tire. He doesn't have the run flat, but it's got those locks on it that only a technician can get off. So he asked the dealership if they're going to remain open for another 30 minutes. He says, "Yeah." They go, "Yeah, you're a good enough client. We'll stay open." Well, he didn't get there in time. So the tow truck driver that took him offers to take him to the tow truck driver's house because this guy lives 2 hours away. He said, "Why don't you just stay the night at my house?" So my question, would you let a stranger in distress stay at your house for a night?
Would you?
God, I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe I've seen too many movies or too many documentaries.
Yeah.
But I would be more apt to say, "Hey, man, I got an Uber coming for you. I'm going to take care of it. And the Uber is going to take you to a hotel. I took care of that too."
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought, you know what, that might be the best route to go. But I mean, just to even offer that to a stranger,
I couldn't do it. I don't think I could do it because I would not get one wink sleep.
Yeah.
And Kev, I'll tell you this right now. I mean, I'll be open and honest with you. I mean, I sleep with a loaded 9mm 3 feet from my head.
Yeah.
And even with that, I wouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why I thought it would be a pretty good be honest, because there was a story behind it, and also it is quite a
no. It's a great be honest. I don't think I could do it.
Now we did. You remember the original Spider-Man that I've always talked about, the homeless gentleman at the memorial in 610.
Yeah,
now, we did offer on Thanksgiving to him to have him come over and stay with us. But Larry didn't want to because Larry would have missed out on the morning at the morning Thanksgiving breakfast over it. But over time, I got to know him. He wasn't so much a stranger anymore. But
okay.
Yeah, just a stranger. I don't know if you just met somebody.
No, unless they look like Salma Hayek. I'm gonna pass. And speaking of homeless, Kev, it's been a while, but been wanting to tell you this story. Um, I think I saw a homeless turf battle in action.
Really?
I think I did. And you know how it is, you'll see the same homeless person on the same corner or whatever, and they're working it and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I drove by and there's that same guy that's always there. And it's one of the longest lights in the world. So I had the opportunity to watch this thing play out. And another homeless person came up, and they're just like, you could just see the body language. Hey, this is my area right here, and I work this corner, and and the other one's like, oh, okay, hey, I'm sorry, it just looked like a nice area, everything like that, and yeah, I'll leave you alone. I'll back away. Now, of course, that's not what they were saying. But that was what they're trying to get across to each other, communicate. I mean, one of them was saying, "Fu Manchu is the best mustache," and the other one's going, "Zamboni make ice."
Yeah.
But yeah, so,
In a very demonstrative way.
yeah, exactly. But you knew the way that they were saying, "Hey, Zamboni makes ice." That they're like, "Hey, sorry about that. I'll go find another bridge." It was just the neatest thing to play out. Yeah.
Well, and we've talked about this before. My friend Larry, the original Spider-Man, he has a permit to do that corner and only that corner. That's his corner.
Oh, they can claim corners in Missouri?
No. This is in Texas, Tim. This is
in Texas.
Yeah, this is Memorial Drive and 610 right there. The original Spider-Man is right there, and he gets a monthly permit that he has to pay $20 a month for to the city. That's his corner.
Wow.
He showed it to me.
Did you ever ask him what he makes?
I never asked him what he made. I
would just be curious.
I was more curious about his circumstances that led him to have to do that.
Because I've heard stories of people, being offered jobs, just saying, "Hey, man, I can pull you out of this. I own this company, or I'm a manager of this, and we need help. And they would be like, well, how much, and what do I have to do?" And they would give them how much, and he's like, "No, I make more here doing that."
Oh, Tim, I talked to two guys. Troy was his name, and he chooses to be homeless. He lives in a tent on Old Katy, Washington Avenue, right across the street from Transtar, or that little fork right across from Silver Eagle Distributing. He lives in a tent right there, and he panhandles every day. And I asked him, because I pet his dogs all the time when I was run by. I'm like, "Hey, Troy, you mind me asking, what's your situation?" He's like, "No, I don't mind you asking at all. I choose to live this way." He's like, "I got a divorce. I don't want to have to pay her alimony. We don't have any kids. So it's better for me to live in a tent, not have any rent, not have any alimony, and I make enough money to eat. And the folks over at Transtar, right before they close up, they let me go in and use their shower. It's the greatest life in the world."
Really?
It's what he told me. Honest to God, it's what he told me.
Wow. Okay. I mean, that's somebody who fucking hates his ex.
Right?
Right? And I would rather live this very Spartan life than give you a fucking penny.
Well, like you said, he doesn't have to worry about taxes. He doesn't have to worry about, rent. Doesn't have to worry about house payment, things going wrong, car insurance. Yeah.
Yeah. God bless him. All right, man. It takes
I thought about that too. I'm like, holy crap, dude, you hated your ex.
You hate her. Yep. Kev, might be honest for you, and maybe I'm alone on this, and I just want to know, because if there's anybody that would share this with me, it would be you. The rest of the population would be like, "What the fuck is your problem?" Do you actually just love getting things knocked off your to-do list?
Oh my God, dude. I live for that.
Yeah, it is such a pleasure.
Yeah.
Because I have a to-do list every single day.
Uh-huh.
And I wake up and I'm like, I want to knock everything off as soon as possible. And then I feel the rest of the day I'm completely free.
Totally. Yeah. I'm the exact same way. And if I have too many things stacking up, it stresses the shit out of me.
Yeah. Oh, like I like to have like 5 or 6 things that I'm going to do in a day.
Oh, that's 3 too many.
Well, yeah, Kev, mine includes, I'm going to put the promo video about our podcast on the story. That's the first thing I do every morning.
Yeah.
So it says PP, podcast promo.
Okay.
And then, the second thing is picks, make my sports betting picks.
All right.
And then trade, and then lift, cardio. I have all that on there. And then, the extra stuff that I need to do on individual days, grocery shopping and clean the apartment, all that stuff. So I have everything down. I mean, even on the days I shave twice a week, I even have on those days shave.
Hey, check this out. And I'm getting this information secondhand from Trish. Okay. But, Missouri passed that you can have sports betting now in the state of Missouri. And so my father-in-law was wondering, how much he would have won had he put money on the Buffalo Bills yesterday, because he likes to stir up shit with the family, who's all Chiefs fans. Mm-hmm. And so they were favored by +3. So he said, so if I put $500 down and they win by 4, I win $463. He gets his $500 back plus $463, right?
That's correct.
Okay. My sister-in-law said, no, that's not actually the case, Dad, because they're going to take so much taxes out of that winnings that you will actually lose money. Is that possible?
No, that's not possible.
Okay.
I mean, it's either a big hit or if he makes a lot of money annually from sports gambling, they'll track you down.
Okay.
And you have to keep your receipts. But, it's only about 25% of your total winnings that they would tax.
Still, that's a quarter of what you won.
Oh, Kev, the taxation thing is insane.
That is. Tell me about it. I just had to pay the taxes on my car.
It's just it is insane. They get you for when you have your income coming in. They get you when you're buying stuff. They get you when you pass it on to your kids. And now they were going after unrealized profits.
Yeah.
I mean, that at some point, these motherfuckers who can make money on inside information because they can sway decisions, they're the greatest stock traders in the world, are U.S. congressmen who are cheating and probably should be in prison just for that. Now they want to take unrealized. I mean, Kev, the evil just knows no bounds, and they're just begging for a comeuppance. And they're going to get it. Unfortunately, if they keep pushing, they're going to get it.
Well, I would like to see where the $2 trillion in cuts are going to come from the budget, just to see how much waste is actually out
there. Kev, you'll be shocked. And you got to remember, there are 3 million paid federal workers whose only job is to protect our thing. That's why, Kev, that's why they went after organized crime. They're like, we don't want the competition.
Oh,
I'm serious. It's so bad. It is so corrupt. It is so criminal. It is so evil. Hopefully we can get it turned around and the pendulum will shift the other way, because I don't want a violent uprising. I don't want that. Nobody wants that, but they keep pushing.
Well, it's interesting because after the election now, you're starting to see, at least I'm starting to see reports that major television networks and cable networks are actually coming more towards the middle, because they know that that's where America wants to be. America doesn't want the extremism. They want to be in the middle. The middle's always won.
I don't think the power elite are going to give up that quickly, though.
Really?
They're evil, dude. They're evil, and they feel they're above the law. They're like, hey, we're billionaires, we're power, we're control. We're not going to prison. There's, they're so arrogant they feel they're above the law.
Oh, yeah. I was just more talking about like Jen Psaki, who used to be the White House spokesperson. She was saying that the Democrats got way too far to the left, and that's why they lost the election. MSNBC, the Morning Joe with Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough actually had a sit down with President-elect Trump.
Are you kidding?
I'm not kidding. They went to Mar-a-Lago and had a sit down with him.
Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
Wow, I'm surprised Trump didn't just jack him. Joe's a fucking asshole.
But yeah, MSNBC, they said, you know what, we went about this the wrong way, and we need to learn something, and we need to correct something. And so yeah, so they're trying to get on his good side now because they know that he could screw them big time.
Oh, I think that Kev, yeah, I think that what they've been involved with, even the mainstream media has been part of it. In terms of the crimes against humanity and the treason over the past 10 years, I think that they're worried that they may be held accountable at this point.
Well, remains to be seen. I thought it was very impressive that Trump and Biden actually sat down at the White House.
Kev, they're all buddies.
It didn't sound like it on the campaign trail.
No, well, you got to do that because you got to rally your side.
Yeah, but that was some ugly rhetoric though, from both sides.
Yeah, I know. Trump, he'll rip you and tear you apart. And the other side's response, because they really don't have, the truth on their side or the good way on their side. They get, well, you should just assassinate him. That's their response.
I see.
Somebody has to kill him. Why hasn't somebody killed him yet?
Yeah.
Fucking idiots. Anyway, Kev,
hopefully it will all get better.
I hope so too. I hope this was a change, but Kev, I know how evil they are and can be, so I'm not going to hold my breath.
All right.
Let's do a top three. It's your turn this week.
Just when you thought they couldn't count any higher, it's Tuttle Kline's top three.
Worst Thanksgiving food. Yeah, it's there. I might eat it, but I don't like it. It's
cranberries. I don't understand it.
Fucking number one, man.
I'd never understood how that became a thing. And, if it became a thing at the original, Thanksgiving meal with the Native Americans back in the day, then somebody should have stood up and said, how? No fucking way.
Shot an arrow right in that pilgrim heart.
Yeah, don't serve me this again.
Me no eat.
Me no eat. More pumpkin pie, less red shit. Yeah. Kev, there was a dish that we used to always have to have growing up, and I forget who made it. It wasn't my mom. It was like one of my aunts.
Mm-hmm.
It was the green bean casserole.
Not a fan, huh?
Fucking hate it.
Okay.
Can't. It's just the worst. And yet, back in our day, and millennials and Gen Z will not be able to relate to this. Back in our day, you had to have a scoop of everything.
Oh yeah, you did.
Or somebody would get offended.
And you had to eat it.
Uh-huh. Or you wouldn't get a pumpkin pie and pecan pie. And let's face it, that's all you were there for.
Totally.
I do all this other shit for the pumpkin pie and the pecan pie, and then to get back to the football game on the TV. And there would always be a dollop of green bean casserole. And I'm just like,
Did you ever you mixed it with the good stuff?
Okay, Kev, I would pour copious amounts of Tabasco sauce on it just to try to get it down.
That's right. You got to mask it, man.
But do you remember when you were a kid and you didn't like something, and you would actually dry?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was mine. That was one of mine. The green bean casserole. And my mom's like, Timothy.
Greatest day of my life was when we rescued a dog. Fed it to him.
The greatest day of my life is when I hosted my first Thanksgiving and I'm like, no green bean casserole. And the third one, I'm trying to think of a third one because I'm pretty easy going. I mean, I even like the yams. The yams were pretty good. Because whoever made them for us always emphasized the candid in regards to the candied yams, which I'm down with. But I'm trying to think of something else that everything else, Kev, I'm good on.
Okay.
I'm good on. I didn't like dark meat. I like the lighter turkey meat.
There you go. Yeah.
What about you? Did any of that hit home with you?
Yeah, cranberry sauce, I don't understand it at all, especially the canned stuff. Yeah, forget that. Sweet potato casserole. Now, as I said, I will still eat it, but I just prefer the sweet potato. Just bake me a sweet potato. Don't put the marshmallows in the sauce and stuff on it, make it any sweeter. And then salad, just a regular salad. Who wants salad?
Oh, no shit. I have that all the time.
Yeah.
This should all be stuff that I don't have all the time. Exactly. That's why we're here.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
No, put your ramen away and your Cheerios.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
No. So those are my three. Yeah.
And Kev, I remember, since we're talking Thanksgiving, there was about a 4 or 5 year period of time where my mom had her mint chocolate chip ice cream pie.
Oh, Dottie.
With the crispy crunch chocolate crust.
Ooh.
That was so good. It was unbelievable. So, and those were great years with mom.
Bet they were.
I think where mom and I went wrong is when she stopped making that for Thanksgiving.
There you go. Yeah, it's her fault.
And I remember, because, you remember Erica's thing is I can make anything anybody else makes.
Uh-huh.
And I always told her about that. And she found the recipe out there.
Okay.
And she made it, and it was perfect.
Really?
And I remember I don't know why Erica did this. For some reason, she made it when my mom was there, when she was there helping with Timmy, when Timmy was a baby.
Uh-huh.
And served it to her. And I was like, pretty good, Mom. She oh, it's okay. Oh, yeah, it's okay. And I'm like, no, she fucking nailed it. And you could just see Erica in the corner of the kitchen doing like an end zone dance, like Terrell Owens just scored.
Of course.
And Mom, it's similar, but it's not quite. No, Mom, she nailed it.
It's missing something.
No, it's every single ingredient that you used in the exact proportions. Yeah, Erica used to like to do that. Erica could. I'll give her credit. She can copy anything.
Oh, she's a hell of a cook.
She could copy anything.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I was talking to my boys when I was driving them home, Dallas and Timmy. I think it was a couple weeks ago. And I was telling them about the greatest candy bar ever, the PB Max.
Okay.
And I was hinting at, your mom could probably make a PB Max. Just hoping that they'll mention it to her where she would make the PB Max.
And then they'll swindle some and bring it over to you.
Yeah, exactly. And they'll sneak some out. They'll smuggle some out.
Yeah.
Timmy, why is there a bulge in your pants running out of the house towards your dad's car? There's nothing, Mom. It's nothing. All right.
Hey, speaking of kids, I'm very intrigued on the battle plan. You said Audrey has a new job.
Oh, yeah. She put her 2 weeks notice in as the assistant athletic director of Texas State Sports.
Okay.
On Thursday. And she is going to be the marketing director for the Austin franchise of the new League One Volleyball League.
Get out.
Not kidding. This is a big time league with big time volleyball players. A lot of our Olympians who got the silver medal will be playing in this league.
Yeah.
They got 6 teams right now. They got Austin, Houston, Omaha, Madison, Salt Lake City. I'm forgetting the others, but that's most of them. And it's got huge financial backing. Kevin Durant, I believe, is owner or partial owner of the Austin franchise that Audrey will be the marketing director for.
How cool.
And she's so excited about it. It's a dream job for her.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's what she played in college.
She played volleyball in college, and she knows a lot of these players on the Austin team. They're smart. What they did is, like the Austin team has a lot of former UT,
of course,
volleyball players. And, Audrey idolized some of these, when she was a kid growing up, and now she's like their marketing director.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's a perfect gig. Plus she got a nice little salary pop too.
Beautiful.
And
she gets to live in Austin.
Yeah, I mean, the Texas State Athletic Director, assistant director job, it was round the clock, long hours. She lives in Austin, works out of her house, and they're a very progressive company. So it's like our vacation policy is this. We shut down around Christmas every year, around 4th of July or whatever every year. Plus, anytime, as long as it doesn't conflict with anything big happening on the schedule. If you feel you need to take off, just take off. Mental health.
Nice.
So she's really excited about that.
When is the season? What month?
January 8th.
Okay. Through
the end of April, and I think they'll get into a playoff, until maybe mid-May or so.
So it sounds to me like the league went to cities where the colleges have dominant volleyball programs because they're already going to have a built-in audience.
Oh, yeah. Omaha, Nebraska. I mean, Nebraska has the largest spectators for volleyball matches in history.
Yeah.
So, the University of Nebraska team, and then Madison, Wisconsin is always baller, and then Salt Lake City, BYU is a huge program.
Yeah, UT.
UT, and then Houston is a bastion of some of the greatest volleyball talent in the country comes out of Houston, Texas. Kev, they're right here.
Yeah, because the club teams.
Yeah, the club teams are some of the best in the nation, including Houston Skyline. Who Audrey played for, is constantly ranked either number 1 or number 2 in the nation in terms of best club.
Yeah, they did their homework then.
So, yeah, they did their homework, and, they got great backing. I think even Stephen Curry is a Tatum from, and a bunch of NBA players, a bunch of WNBA players have put money in, some Hollywood actors and actresses really want to support this and make it a big thing. And then ESPN has picked up the TV rights.
Perfect.
And that's what I said. I told Audrey, I said, if ESPN, if you have a TV deal, this thing can last.
Well, it's good for her too, because she also has broadcasting experience because she covered collegiate volleyball, right? On ESPN.
Yes, she is. She was a color commentator for college volleyball on ESPN. So if she needs to go that route, she can go that route.
Awesome.
But yeah, I mean, and Kev, she told her bosses, Thursday, Friday, and they're like, hey, what can we do to keep you? Because she kicks ass.
Of course.
The place, since she got there 2.5 years ago, they're breaking all-time attendance records, all-time social media engagement records, because that's her thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the athletic director is just like, hey, what is it going to take? And Audrey's like, dream job. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then she told her she has a crew of social media college students that are paid, and she told them after the game on Saturday, and they are all just sobbing.
I'm sure,
because they're like, "Oh my God, you're the best." Audrey's a sweet, kind, positive reinforcement person.
Absolutely.
And they're just like, "Oh," and they were sobbing and everything like that. So.
Yeah, well, maybe they'll meet again down the road, and
exactly. You never know what's going to happen.
You never do.
But that's it. That's great. She got a dream gig, and she loves living in Austin, and now her mom is moving to Canyon Lake this week.
Okay.
And I'll probably be somewhere in that vicinity soon. Within the next couple of years, I'll probably be there. So in Hill Country.
Well, congratulations, kiddo.
Isn't that great?
That is phenomenal.
I just I'm so proud of her. Kev, let's talk about the rabbit holes you and I went into last week.
Rabbit hole of the week.
All right, so what did you find yourself just giving up copious amounts of hours to checking into?
So on the backside of our fence in our backyard, we have this like area that is completely overgrown, and it's an eyesore. And I can't believe that the people that live below us on the hill didn't complain to us immediately when we took possession of the house. But anyway, I went out there and I started to clean it, but I wanted to know what was weed and what wasn't. So I've been studying vegetation identification.
I thought you were going to say I wanted to know what's weed and what's not. So I called Snoop.
Yeah. No.
Hey, yeah, red-haired sensibilia, faux shizzle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So your ID and what did you find? Did you find anything interesting?
Well, like this one thing that looks like a weed is actually somebody planted it. It's a grass, and it looks like a big tall wheat thing. So it's like a long stem, and at the very end, I mean, it's like 5 feet tall, and it just looks like a big thing of wheat. I was going to pull it, but nope, not anymore.
Interesting.
It's supposed to be there. And then we had these things that they look like rhubarb. It's like a rhubarb tree, and then there's berries on the top of it. And yeah, that's a weed. So I cut that thing out.
Don't eat the berries.
Oh, no, not eating any of it.
There are certain kind of berries that you never want to put in your mouth, including dingle.
But in clearing this area, it was masking a bunch of limestone rocks that they just formed naturally. But there are a ton of holes in the ground underneath. And so probably in March, I will be doing snake identification because
that's awesome.
I guarantee there's a shit ton underneath there.
Yeah, be careful. What you discover. It was about 5 or 6 months ago. I'm walking with Dallas and Timmy, and we go through that nature area that just has everything. I mean, it is Mutual of Omaha, Wild Kingdom. And Dallas, I don't know how he noticed it because it was so camouflaged. There was a snake that he almost stepped on. And he goes, Dad, really slowly walk back with me, and I want to show you something. And it kind of stunned me because it was huge and it was just right there. And I looked it up later.
Yeah.
And I can't for the life of me, I can't remember exactly what kind of snake it is, but it is a snake that is so fucking poisonous. You're talking about instant death if this thing sinks the teeth into you and fires off the poison shot.
Yeah. And what did we learn earlier? It's a snake. They bite.
Exactly.
That's their job.
Yeah. As you're lying on the ground, breathing your last breath, and the snake is rolling up on your chest. You're saying, snake wine, snake wine. They're like, really? Really? You're going to, after everything, you're going to ask this shit?
That's funny.
Yeah, well, you're going to have a good time with that.
What was your rabbit hole, Tetley?
Kev, I don't know how I got into it, but I struggled to get out of it. And I stayed up way too late one night, really hitting it. Have you ever seen where professional musicians will either dress up like a worker or they'll dress up like a homeless person, and they'll go to like a public piano in an airport or a mall or something like that, and they'll flash play. And the unsuspecting public is just like, what is this janitor doing? Holy shit, that is perfect Beethoven Moonlight Sonata. I watched probably 30 or 40 of them.
Yeah, that's fun.
And Kev, I don't know, I don't ever want you to tell anybody this. And anybody that's watching this podcast or listening to this podcast, this is Fight Club, okay? I got teary-eyed for some of it.
Really?
Because it was such fucking beautiful music.
Yeah.
And even though the guy wasn't really homeless, he's dressed up, as a homeless person just to get full effect from the public, just to see the public's reaction to the homeless guy going, oh my God, was like making me tear up and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what was wrong with me.
It's because we are basically a sympathetic society. You know?
No, I would never have done that in the past. I would just be like, oh, that's cool. He's dressed up like a homeless guy. But now, as you get older, you're just like, oh my God, Moonlight Sonata.
Oh, yeah. No, age does have a tendency to do that to you.
Plus, Beethoven reminds me of my dad too.
Oh, well, there you go.
95% of all car rides we had with my dad, he had Mozart, Beethoven, Amadeus,
Uh-huh.
he had them cranked.
One of the funniest, this kind of brings up one of the funniest stories I ever heard when we were working in country music. Before he became well known and before he became very recognizable, Blake Shelton went to a karaoke bar in Houston and did one of his own songs. And a lady walked up to him, and I know this because Brian Anderson and Keith Anderson went with him. And a lady walked up to him afterwards and said, that's pretty good, but Blake Shelton does it a lot better.
That's freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Kev, I think, and I'm trying to remember, I think Jewel did the same thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
She was dressed up incognito, though.
Okay.
You couldn't tell it was her. And she's just belted, who would save your soul? All of her tunes.
Uh-huh.
And this lady walks up afterwards and going, oh my God, you sing that stuff even better than Jewel. Plus, I hear she's a bitch.
Oh, wow.
And Jewel, Jewel having the sense of humor she has is like, yeah, I hear she's a bitch too.
Yeah.
Great stuff. All right, Kev, fun podcast. Do we have to do anything else? Any other business that we have?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, okay.
How are you spending your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving, there's a beautiful young lady,
Okay.
who just moved to the neighborhood about 4 or 5 months ago, and she doesn't have the opportunity due to work to get back home.
Oh, okay.
So,
You're going to let a stranger stay at your house.
again, if she looks like Salma Hayek, Kev.
Beautiful.
I am not the big bad wolf.
No, he is not. No, not at all.
She said, yeah, that'd be great. All right, so her and we're going to watch. We both love football.
Oh, great.
And she loves to cook. And I love to eat.
There you go. I was getting ready to say. It's a match made in heaven.
So it's a good combination.
There you go.
That's freaking hilarious. Kev, what's coming up on your awesome Other Side project? Kevin also has another podcast called The Fuzzy Mike, where he's like one of the top worldwide rated true crime / mental health. I know. It's like his niche is true crime and mental health. But he's always been a philosopher, so he's able to do that.
Believe me, they do intersect.
They do. So what's going on?
I am putting together the finishing touches on a longer episode. Yeah, last week I just did a quick teaser episode, putting the finishing touches on the new one, and it should be ready to go real soon.
All right.
By the way, Laurel Weirs, my therapist, listened to our podcast, and she said she can help you.
Did she really?
Oh, she goes, Kevin, she called me. She goes,
oh, she probably was like, I can't do the 1 session guarantee for him though.
No, she said it would be 1 session. She said, Kevin, she goes, he is exactly the way you were when you came to me. She goes, I feel so bad for him. I can clean that up.
Really?
Yep. That's what she said. I'll send you the message.
Did she give you like a little, preview of, kind of what she's thinking, or?
I'll send you the message. I mean, she called me and left me a voice message. I'll play it right here.
Okay, your friend. We need to talk about him. Kevin, it's like when I talked to you. It's right there. Like, his issue is so obvious. We've got to integrate the memory of his mom saying "I hate you," and then integrate the other ones where the other women said it, which those actually probably will fall anyways when we integrate his mom. But like, he doesn't need to be triggered by that, and he doesn't need to live with holding that anymore. And like it felt like listening to him was like listening to you in the podcast when I was like, oh, but it's so easy. Like, we know exactly what we need to do. So maybe he will reach out to me. You're proof. You're the proof he needs to know. But I'm sure it's hard for him to imagine that the same could happen for him, because that's what happens when people have been living in that place for so long. It's really difficult to imagine, honestly, that life can be any other way, and you know that full well. But thank you for sending that clip. I'm just so honored that you were able to share your healing, and I can't wait.
Oh yeah, Kevin, she's good looking too.
Isn't she pretty?
Yeah, what's she doing for Thanksgiving?
Very funny.
All right, make sure you like our podcast, follow us, download, subscribe, give us a rating. Check out our awesome merchandise on Tuttle Kline's Facebook page. Follow us on Instagram. We appreciate your support. And those of you who listen to us or watch us on YouTube on a week-to-week basis. Kevin Kline, I'm good. Are you good?
I am great.
All right. I'm going to go change out of this shirt because, yes, it's very sweaty.
That's it for this episode of the Tuttle and Kline Show. See you this Wednesday for an all-new episode. And you can get more Kline on his podcast, The Fuzzy Mike, with new episodes on Tuesday. Stay fuzzy, friends. And thanks for listening to the Tuttle and Kline Show. Yo. All right, take the yo out.